Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs. I have been asked by several people to give a more long-term review on my 2019 Nissan Kicks, and I will get into that a little bit. I've got just under 60,200 miles. I have consistently serviced early on this vehicle. I got my transmission flush at 30 and 60,000, which is 5,000 miles earlier than normal. My last service, it's been close to a month now. I had a service today, Friday and today. My last service was transmission flush, coolant, and oil, and I had to have the lower control arms replaced because now they do not replace bushings anymore. They replace the entire unit that has a bushing in it. I think it's fucking stupid, but whatever. That's what they fucking do. And it's most car makers, by the way. So I was asked, are there benefits to my car? Yes. They're different on the newer kicks. The 20 up to the 2019, I think 2020 may still have had, is a 10.8 gallon tank. I average between 280 to 300 miles on a tank. Sometimes I go a little bit beyond the third of a tank line. I can get 320 miles out of my tank before the red light comes on. I never let my gas get to the red line. I always do it in a third of a tank, which is for me typically 280 to 290 miles, which equates to it's usually around 8.5 to 9 gallons, so it averages around 31 miles to the gallon. It actually gets pretty good gas mileage. The interior space is a factor. It is very well apportioned. The track is, for a compact SUV, fairly long and nice and wide. I have steely rims on it, not aluminums like some of the higher ends. I intend to get replacement rims, contingent on whether I keep this car beyond December. My insurance rate is going down significantly come December, and I have a chance to get a 2023 79,000 miles on it Toyota Camry LE with the 2.5 liter four-cylinder, which is incredibly fuel efficient and powerful, with a 8-speed regular automatic transmission, not a fucking CVT. I'm so over CVTs, by the way. CVTs are the worst idea anybody ever came out in a fucking transmission. Even though I loved my Mitsubishi Lancer, I had it for a decade, it was still CVT, and I still hated the CVT. That motor in that Lancer had so much more power than that transmission would ever let happen. Anyway, here's the things that have gone on with this car. I essentially have a brand new car in some ways, okay? So, the first thing that happened was I had to get the CV boots replaced on the front. For some reason, they wore out prematurely. I did not like this fact. I will amend my statement there. The first thing that happened was the main incoming AC line got a crack. Got that fixed. Then the CV boots happened. Then the AC had to be fixed again because the outgoing Freon line going to the compressor broke. Something else happened with the AC again. It's been fixed 3 or 4 times now. Then around 33,000 miles, I noticed vibration and sound happening. Neither Big O or Nissan could figure out what it was. It's been all the way up till just Friday when they finally figured it out, and I kept continually telling them it's hub wheel bearings. I'm telling you, front or back, some of the bearings are bad. They're like, well, they're sealed bearings. That doesn't happen. I go, something's wrong. So I told him, I said, look, you have to get this car over 35 miles an hour and for an extended distance to be able to figure out what's going on. I drive this car every day. I'm telling you, since 33,000 miles, there's been something wrong with the fucking bearings or the axle. It's one or the other. Okay? So they finally relented Friday. And to that point, between Friday and today, when I had the bearings and the hubs replaced, they drove my car about 30 miles. So they did their due diligence. They drove it quite a bit before and after replacing the parts. So after the CV boots and this last service, before, in between what I just got done and my last service with the lower control arms and all the fluids, I had the alternator go out. Now keep in mind, this is all before 60,000 miles, okay? So I've had the alternator replaced. I've had the lower control arms replaced. I had a torque mount with the bushing replaced, which was on the left side, it's on a torque arm. I was told that the possibility was that when the bearings went out in the front, that it threw all of those things off, and that's why they wore out. And yet I still had to use my extended warranty. Even though they didn't find it since 33,000 miles, because it was under my warranty time, I had to go ahead and use my warranty. Now, I will say that 99% of what I've had done on this car has been warranted. My extended warranty for my refinance was and is a phenomenal extended warranty. I should not have refinanced, but it saved me $100 a month. I am now well under halfway paid off on this car. But here's the things that have happened. I've had an alternator. I've had both the front boots. The front hubs and bearing sets had to be replaced. The AC has been fixed 3 or 4 times. Both of the front door mechanisms with the lock actuators had to be replaced. Okay, it's all within 60,000 miles. I essentially have kind of a new fucking car at this point. And I'm over halfway paid off. So I am at a crossroads. They want to get me into a 2026 Kicks. I want nothing to do with the new Kicks. Okay, now don't get me wrong. I like my vehicle. Okay, but now I'm at a point where I had not even 2-year-old tires yet from Big O, and because of the things that happened in the front of the suspension, I had to just replace these on Friday to the tune of $700. Now I got much better tires. I'm not knocking Big O Select tires. They're made by Toyo. They're good tires, but because nobody, either Big O or Nissan, could figure out until fucking Friday that my bearings were in fact out in the front, which I told them for a year and a fucking half, riding essentially on bad fucking bearings, which evidently threw everything fucking off. I had to go and spin on a brand new fucking set of tires. Now I did it at the dealer because the dealer spec tires that you buy are specifically catered to the vehicles that the dealer sells. Okay, now with Nissan, franchise versus corporate, there's different brands and series of tires, but they are definitely guaranteed better to be for your vehicle. The Big O Select Toyos that I got were good tires, but they were much more sport oriented than I needed, and they had a shit ton of road noise because they were made for a performance vehicle. I didn't need them. So I got the ones from the dealer that I got. They're Hankook. They're a 70,000 mile rated, quiet, mileage rated tire all season, and they're great tires. They run nice and flat and even. But I've also discovered through time and having other past vehicles that Steely's are very heavy rims. They're ones that you put the hubcaps on. My hubcaps are trashed because they're plastic caps, and anytime you go to get a service done, they've got to take them off where they take the wheels off, and invariably they get cracked. So I'm at a crossroads with that too, because I can go and get a brand new set of rims online for next to nothing. I have a 114.3 sized 5-bolt pattern 40 offset is what my Kicks has. There's so many fucking rims for that. But the other thing is, if I get the stock ones are 6.5 rims, 6.5 wide, which means that the tire is not as wide as it could be. I can go all the way out to a 10 wide, but if I go to a 10 wide, then I'm kind of rubbing the inner wells if I go to full lock on my steering, which I kind of like the steering radius on this car. If I get 16 by 8, I will not rub, I will have full turning radius, and I will still have a 1.5 inch more track. So I'm definitely thinking and looking about doing that if I keep the vehicle. So I'm waiting until December because of the fact that I have my insurance going down exponentially. And if I can get into the Camry that I'm looking at, if they still have it, which they want 20 grand for, which for 2023 is phenomenal. And because my insurance rate is going down, if I can get them to give me the same payment and the same interest rate unilaterally that I have right now on the vehicle I'm driving now, and my insurance is going down, it will still stay the same, essentially. It'd be like $4 more a month for a 2023 from a 2019. And it's a Toyota. They last for fucking ever. Anybody that I've ever known that has owned a Toyota has never had major issues with their vehicle. They've done regular maintenance, replaced regular shit, and had them last forever. I have a friend in California that has a mid-80s SR5 Toyota pickup that has a 1.2 million miles on it, and he's never changed the internals on that motor. They speak for themselves. So I'm at a crossroads because I'm well over halfway paid off. I paid over $14,000 on this car. I only owe $11,800 left. Kelley Blue Book puts it right around $10,000 in value. Don't get me started on Carfax. Carfax fucking sucks, okay? But I get kick-ass gas mileage. The brakes are still good. I am actually really impressed with the pads and the rotors and drums on this vehicle. But honestly, I've also thought that if I keep this vehicle to being paid off, or even beyond December, rims, I can take them to the dealer. They'll mount and balance with the tires that I just bought from them. They've already told me they'll do that. They guarantee their work no matter where you get a part from. I've already told them that I would like to outsource online new pads, and I would like to do all new rotors, disc rotors front and back, and convert the backs to disc because I don't like drums. It's all contingent on whether I keep this vehicle. I mean, I literally have almost a brand new fucking vehicle. Does it feel like that? No, it's an older vehicle. I got it in 2020. It was 2019. And I've only put just over 60,000 miles on it in the entire time I've had it. And we're in the middle of, we're at the end of 2025. So I've had it quite a while. And the funny thing is I fish a lot and I drive a lot. And yet, because I don't really go out of the valley that much, I haven't put a shit ton of miles in this vehicle. So it's kind of a crossroads for me because I'm 54 years old and I'm sitting here with a over halfway paid off car, and we're not getting any cheaper. But at the same time, there's a 2023 Camry LE with the desirable motor and transmission combination with rims, real rims, and performance tires, insanely clean, only 79,000 miles, that I can get right now for 20 grand. Now, by December, if they sell it on a lot, by just virtue of the fact that they're going into new stock for the next year, they may drop that price if they still have that car. It's another reason I'm waiting. So, I don't know, man. I really don't want to go to a new car because I don't want a bigger gas tank. People tell me, well, you're still spending the same amount in gas and you're actually getting more distance. Yeah, but every time I fill up my car, I'm getting almost 300 miles on like 9 gallons of gas. I'm not doing too bad. So it just really I I don't know. It irritates me because of the position I've been put in and the amount of investment and time I put in this car. I had my Lancer for 10 years. We had a 2009, and I replaced 2 belts and 2 sets of brakes that I needed to replace. The stock good rims actually warped because I drove it too fast and I burned the brakes out, but I did that. I replaced the brakes, front and back were discs on that car, with Duralos from England, which were a racing brand, and some racing pads from England too. Can't remember what they were, what brand they were, but they were really badass pads. And I replaced the struts were going out, so I wore those out. It wasn't Mitsubishi's fault. Replaced those with some K Sports from here in Phoenix. And I had, various other little odds and ends that I put on that car on my own that I didn't necessarily need, but the car never overheated, never had a radiator problem, never had an AC problem. I replaced 3 different sets of fan motors in my dash on my own, because you get them on eBay for $15-20 and they last quite a while. And the only reason I got rid of the Lancer was because I had a repair that I needed to get done, because I wore out the axles from driving too aggressively in a severely lowered vehicle. By the way, if you severely lower a vehicle, replace all of the stuff under the car right up front. Just do it. Rebuild your entire car. Do not fuck up and just do a piece at a time. You're going to pay for it. I ended up getting the axles remanufactured. I should have just gotten brand new ones. Ended up making some issues happen. The repairs would have been about $3,000. Hindsight, I should have just gotten a consumer loan and gotten those replaced and the things that need to be fixed between that and the transmission mount, and kept the car, because there was nothing wrong with it, and it could have gone 300,000-400,000 miles. Those Mitsubishis from then were phenomenal vehicles. They're not so much anymore. But I loved that car. I had an absolute love affair with that car. I was essentially married to that car. It was the only vehicle I've ever owned, and I've had quite a few, where I had the same love driving that vehicle the last day I drove it into the Nissan dealership from when I first bought it with 34 miles on it. Hindsight, I should have just driven straight into a Toyota dealership instead. Nissan is now like number 17 on the list of reliability for worldwide brands. Toyota's like number 2. Supra, ironically, is like number 1 on some reports. Mazda's actually surpassed Honda in reliability now, believe it or not, which is really cool. So I'm sitting there at a crossroads. If anybody has any perspective, if you see this and you want to make an opinion, please do so. I always welcome opinions. It's just that the laundry list of stuff I've gotten done, it's put a sour taste in my mouth. Now, I'm not knocking Nissan's service department. They've done phenomenal for what they've done, but they should have caught this at 33,000 miles, and they did not. But I've got the bearings replaced. The rear bearings are fine. So, excuse me. So something happened. I think personally that the bearings themselves first going out, that it threw everything off because it was not sitting right. I was not getting an accurate alignment. The turning was off. There were things that were off, and everybody told me that I was just wanting to get a new car, so I was not making sense, and I was not telling myself the truth in my own mind. And I found out I was fucking correct. So the LE, this Toyota, it is their base Camry, okay? Let me tell you something. Toyota's on their fucking game, okay? Their LE, their base model, is like a fully loaded Nissan. It is ridiculous, the technology this car has. I don't agree with needing it all, but I'll take it. The only thing that the LE doesn't really have that the higher end versions have is a more advanced stereo system and a heated seat to heat up your ass and light your farts on fire. I mean, it's really all it doesn't have. The stereo that was in the base model is light years beyond what my Kicks is. The big advantage with the Kicks, and the reason that I have not gotten rid of it yet, because I could have walked out Friday with a new car and just said, you fix this shit on your own. But it was warranted, so I figured I'd go ahead and get it done, and I needed new tires, so I got the fucking tires. The only reasons is the gas mileage I get on this car is freakishly good, and the space is perfect for me as a fisherman. If I get the Camry, that means that anytime I want to take my rods and stuff to go fish, not only do I need to not leave them in the car when I'm not fishing, I have to rearrange seating. In my Kicks, I always have one of the seats down or both the seats down, depending, because I never take any other passengers in the back seat, even though I could. And I always have my fishing gear in there ready to go. I always have my gym bag in the front seat. I mean, it's an easy car to get access to things to. And it's got enough capability off-road wise that I could technically take it down places that you really would not take a sedan. But at the same time, I cannot ignore what this Camry LE offers. A standard 8-speed regular automatic, not a CVT. The 2.5 four-cylinder is a great, very stable, very reliable motor. Their braking system is phenomenal. Their motion sensors are phenomenal. Their speed, their gas economy, I mean, everything on that vehicle is bad to the bone. Now, I would prefer a Corolla hatchback, but they're going from a premium right now. And honestly, with the size and everything, the fact that I might potentially be able to get into this 23 Camry for 20 grand at that same, not much beyond 3% interest rate for the 300 some odd a month I'm spending now on my car, it appeals to me. The problem and the reason I've not done it is that I'm 54 years old. I've got a half paid off car. If I get another car payment, it means that I have a brand new car payment to start all the fuck over again. I'm not getting any younger. So it's just all this stuff in my fucking brain right now, and I just don't know what to do about it. So if anybody has an opinion, I certainly welcome it.